Hi, this is Kanika Chadda Gupta, television journalist, founder, and podcast host of That's Total Mom Sense.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claire Goss, the Senior Manager in the Education Department at Bright Horizons, and this is
Play Matters with Bright Horizons. On this weekly segment, we're double-clicking on the importance of play and how it's not just a pastime, it's crucial to learning for young children.
I'm here to clear up your misconceptions about play and learning. We're going to talk about the benefits of play, the different types of play, how to encourage play even when your child says, I'm bored.
So grab a notebook, the Notes app on your phone, or take some mental notes on today's takeaways and share them with your friends. Listen in because play matters. This segment is Play, a foundation for success. There is a misconception around play because it's not just about having fun. There's so much more to it. It's also the first step to help set your child up for success. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I think you just touched on something really important, which is that when you ask a parent what they want for their kids, it's that I want them to be happy and successful and healthy, right? So there are things you can be doing right now as a parent of young children to set them up for success. And one of the big ones is letting them play. Like you said, it's not a nice to have, it's a must have for young children. It's so important that pediatricians have actually started writing prescriptions for play, like at well child checkups. If they can start to tell maybe that a child's not getting enough opportunity for play, they'll write a prescription for it. The United Nations has actually enshrined play as a fundamental human right of every child in the world. That's how important this is.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. And I love that we are prioritizing it. Now, how do we build play into a child's day?
Yeah, so at Bright Horizons or any high quality early care and education program, play should be prioritized every single day. It should be celebrated. We really do believe, and we know from the research, that it's the best preparation for the school-aged years and beyond, like later in life. So play just gives children that opportunity to learn about themselves, learn about the world around them. It basically helps them make sense of everything. It helps them make sense of their entire world.
So, for a lot of parents, when they hear play, they think mess. Cars everywhere, blocks strewn all over the floor, Legos, finger paint. But this is all part of learning. What are kids learning when they're making a huge mess?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought this up because I think that is sometimes a deterrent, the idea that how messy this is going to get. But I need to remind all of your listeners that young children especially learn about the world through their five senses primarily, right? That's why your toddler is trying to lick things and put them in their mouth, because taste is one of the five senses. They want to bang things. They want to hear how things sound. They want to touch everything. They want to lick everything. So that gets really messy really fast. And if you can try to reframe it for yourself as play and learning, it just makes it a little bit easier to find that patience that you need while your children are young. And even older children make a mess when they're playing, right? So again, if you as the parent can adjust your expectations a little bit and remind yourself that making the mess is part of the learning, there's only certain ways that you can learn things, right? Like I mentioned a block tower during one of our previous segments. You as an adult know if you want to build a sturdy block tower, you have to put the bigger blocks on the bottom and the smaller blocks on the top. But the way you learn that was because some adult in your life let you make a big mess with blocks one day, right? And then you probably had to do it like 5 to 10 more times before you actually really learned about that. And that's some early science and math skills right there. So that's that learning happening in real life. That's how they figure that out. Same thing, like let's talk about finger paints, messy painting, right? It makes a huge mess on the table. But I bet you know as an adult what happens when you mix blue and yellow paint together, right? It turns green. How do you know that? You know that because, again, some adult in your life gave you the time and the materials and the most importantly, the opportunity, the actual space in your childhood to get messy with paints. So messy play is so deeply important. There's so much wonderful learning happening. Don't skip it.
What should parents look for when considering a childcare center to enroll their kids in?
One of the most important questions I would suggest that parents ask is, what is their framework or philosophy that they use for their kids when they're thinking about a day in the life of a kid at your center, right? So you might hear terms when you're touring centers, terms like we're a play-based center, we're a Montessori center. At Bright Horizons, we have our own proprietary framework called discovery-driven learning. And what we've done is we've taken all the work from all the child development researchers and visionaries over the last century and basically taken the best parts of all of them and combined them into one framework. So everything we're doing is science and evidence based. What we know is that children learn best when they are able to explore their own curiosity. They're allowed to exercise their imaginations, right? And they're allowed to pursue their own inquiries. So that's how we really put this child at the center of our framework with discovery driven learning. And we really prioritize play.
Amazing. Amazing. So now on to our fun little segment, Press Play. What's your takeaway on play being the foundation for success?
Yeah, so the great part about play, I've been talking so much about all the wonderful benefits of play, but one of the really cool parts I think is how interdisciplinary it is. So when a child is playing with something, they're not just working on one skill set for school readiness or future readiness, right? So when they are playing with Play-Doh, they're not just working on fine motor skills. They might also be working on language skills because they're talking to you about what they're doing. They might also be working on math skills. They might be working on science. They might be doing some art. If something goes wrong with the Play-Doh and they get frustrated and they need to regulate themselves, that's social emotional learning that's happening. So just reminding yourself that every opportunity for play is basically checking a whole bunch of boxes at once. It's truly interdisciplinary. And you're just watching all the learning come together for your child. So embrace the mess, prioritize play, let your kids be the scientists that they are.
Thank you so much, Claire. I know that the parents listening are going to be like, we should just embrace the mess and it's inevitable, but it's how they're learning and finding their way in this world. So that's really, really cool to understand. We're looking forward to our upcoming segment from Play Matters with Bright Horizons called Encouraging Play, Tangible Takeaways for Parents. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this week's Play Matters with Bright Horizons segment. To find a center near you, get access to free parenting resources from experts, and tune in to one of my favorite shows, the Bright Horizons Parenting Podcast, Teach, Play, Love, visit brighthorizons.com.